Just no. No, okay? Just no. Hello, and welcome to Mind Canon, the only Star Wars show that can legitimately beat Han Solo in a fistfight. I am your host, the Fat Mantis, and we were reviewing Clone Wars, Season 7, Episode 4, Unfinished Business. In this episode, Echo, the Bad Batch, and a few auxiliary forces like Anakin go in to get the revenge on Confederacy forces that mess with Echo, as well as the Republic taking back the Anaxis shipyards. What can be said about this episode? It stayed in the typical fashion that we have seen Clone Wars thus far in this season. It was beautiful. It had colorful explosions, endless action, so much action that I found myself nodding off at certain points. All the emotional ties into it seem to have failed on every aspect of it. I will say there is one glowing light in it, and that is Anakin. Anakin was the splash of half and half into the cup of coffee that this episode was. It was a cup of coffee in that I have about 6 a day, none of them are actually memorable, and yeah, you know, it's there. It gets the job done. You know. But ultimately, Anakin saved what little amount of amusement I could get, because we all love watching dark side Anakin, let's face it. We see that he is already on the dark side. He's just skirting the line. I mean, we all know when he walked in there that he was going to kill Admiral Trench. He made sure to happen, even though it seems like a clean kill. As soon as other Jedi are out of the room, Anakin loves to go straight to doing some dark side grime. He's a grimy fellow, and it is very entertaining to watch him be grimy. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't understand about action, whether it be a film or a series, is that good action needs to be peppered throughout the meal. Not just jammed into any one particular part of the meal, or jammed in throughout the entire thing, over-seasoned, if you will. He's like that Spanish guy making the steak. You guys know the Spanish guy I'm talking about who makes the steak. Yeah, he's like that. He knows you gotta sprinkle it all around. You gotta have action all over the place. Problem is this was action scene after action scene after action scene, which seems to be a bad habit of this series right now, which it didn't used to be. I will also say that at the end of this story, the ending is so illogical, my mind was blown. In the second viewing, I thought that maybe I had dreamed the first one. There is no way this could happen, and sure enough, it did. Echo had no emotional reason to hang out with the Bad Batch. He seemed to have no rift with Anakin or Rex. As a matter of fact, throughout the episode, Rex and Anakin were the only ones who loved and believed in him. It's total nonsense that he would immediately go with a bunch of guys who didn't trust him since day one. They did not lay the groundwork. They did not do the work. And that is very upsetting, especially since last episode was such a waste of an episode. You know, Dave Filoni, you know, this was a fail on your part. Epic fail. I give this episode a 65. In New York State, 65 in a school is passing. However, it's only just passing. You're 1 point away from failing. So you passed, you walk out of the room, and your teacher's just looking at you like with these eyes. The sheer look of disappointment, and that's what it is. I'm disappointed at this. The one thing I am happy about is that this episode came to an end, which means we can move on to other characters instead of these clone troopers, and hopefully the Ahsoka or the Anakin storylines, or hopefully the Order 66 storyline will have emotional impact, and this can just be written off as a simple filler, as, let's face it, every television show has. Now let's get into our bonus segment for the day, and today I want to talk about the Knights of Ren. You know them, clad in black. Mysterious warriors who don't seem to carry lightsabers or vibroblades or things that seem like they would work into a futuristic world. Yeah, they might want to think about that in their next life. It would seem that Star Wars comics are a thing. I dig it. Darth Vader was a good run. Star Wars title in general is a good one. Charles Soule, in an attempt to create a story, did not do one that I feel the majority of our mind canons have accepted. That he has done things to create holes into the films. And I would like to say that not only was that not well done for him, he's just collecting a paycheck, but I do not believe that he is actually authorized to create any canonical information for Star Wars. People who make the comic books and all the other things, they are not actually knighted. Lucas did not pull out a lightsaber and cut off their Padawan blade and go, welcome, you are now Sir Charles Soule. No, you're not. You're just a hired mercenary. No offense, Charles Soule. You've done a lot of great work, particularly on Daredevil. He has not bestowed the actual honor of controlling canon one way or the other. These are just cute little stories. And I think it's important that we remember that. I believe that it was in the movies, both 1 and 2, it is highly suggested, if not blatantly said, that the Knights of Ren were the remaining students that went dark side with Kylo Ren the day he destroyed the temple. Luke said he took some of the students and the rest he killed. However, in Charles Soule's rendition of The Rise of Kylo Ren, he not only makes them not the students, but he also takes the blame out of Kylo Ren's hands for burning down the school, and he almost makes the light side Jedi look like they're responsible for getting themselves killed. They aggressively pursued him like lunatic, basically making him a victim and taking away all of his accountability. Something that this franchise very desperately needs. Woe is me. I was bullied at the Jedi Academy, so now it's alright that I burn down villages and blow up planets. He should be held responsible for all his murder and chaos. But let's face it, the truth is that whatever Charles Soule has written flies in the face of the movies, and as a result, it's certainly not part of my mind canon. Trust me, when episode 10 or a prequel or whatever comes out, that comic will mean nothing. It's just there to make a quick buck. They do not care if it is real or not, and the moment that a movie maker, a director, or a writer wants to do something completely contrary to it, they will throw that comic book or that novel or that video game you love directly into the trash, which is why it should not be considered canon. Now, obviously, Disney's always going to say, this is canon, because they want you to buy it. It's total hogwash. Personally, in my own mind canon, the Knights of Ren will always be the rebellious students who went with Kylo Ren on that fateful day. Now, it's important for me to know, what did you guys think about that? Do you think we should put any stock into any of the new expanded universe, knowing that it can be thrown out in any possible way? Also, what's your favorite new expanded universe? Possibly, what's your favorite old expanded universe? I know the New Jedi Order books were my top. I love the Yuuzhan Vong. I thought that was an amazing stuff. And I love Mara Jade. She was awesome. I hope she gets canonized at one point. But anyway, that is Mind Canon for the day. I hope you enjoyed. I'm looking forward to episode 5 of Clone Wars. Tell me what you thought in the comments. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and keep tuning in to the Fat Mantis for more Mind Canon. Until next time, ciao for now, bitches.